All right, today we are cracking open a book that claims to be the ultimate insider account, Leo Leon Zagami's Confessions of an Illuminati. This guy says he was a part of it all. So, what secrets does he spill? Let's dive in and deconstruct his story.
Right from the get-go, the book hits you with this quote from the Gospel of Matthew. And it really sets the tone, doesn't it? It's a promise, basically saying, get ready because the secrets are coming out. This isn't just a fancy intro, it's the entire mission statement of the book.
Now, to even begin to understand the world Zagami is describing, you have to kind of learn its language, its visual alphabet. And this right here, a Masonic tracing board, is a perfect example. Its symbols are a huge part of his story. As we walk through this, our goal is just to lay out the claims as he presents them, using his material to follow the narrative he's building.
So who is this guy leading us down the rabbit hole? Leo Lion Zagami. He claims he's not just some outsider looking in. Nope, he says he was an active player in what he calls the New World Order, and his whole purpose for writing, he says, is to drag the secrets he learned over decades inside these occult groups into the light.
Zagami doesn't just start with wild stories. He tries to establish his credentials right away. He presents this document, which he alleges is from his initiation back in 1993 into the occult order known as the AOA. It supposedly lays out his first duties as a probationer, his entry ticket into this hidden world. And right after that, he shows us this, his own signed oath from that very same day. You can see the signature there, Leo Lion Zagami. He's swearing to pursue the great work, which the oath itself defines as getting a scientific knowledge of the nature and powers of my own being. To Zagami, these aren't just old pieces of paper. This is his proof of membership.
Okay, so if that was his way in, what exactly did he walk into? Well, according to Zagami, the Illuminati isn't one single group. Not at all. He paints this picture of a huge, tangled web of secret societies, all supposedly interconnected and working together to form a kind of hidden government.
And here's the alleged lineup. You've got the big names everyone's heard of, right? Freemasonry, Skull and Bones. But then it gets woven together with more obscure groups like the O.T.O and the Golden Dawn. The book's whole argument is that these aren't just separate clubs. They're all cogs in a single, massive, coordinated machine. So how does he try to prove these connections? By showing us things like this. On the left, you've got a 1912 charter for the O.T.O, given to the famous occultist Aleister Crowley. And on the right, a page from a ritual of the original Bavarian Illuminati from the 1700s. By putting them next to each other, the book is making a visual argument, suggesting a direct historical line between them.
And this is absolutely crucial to Zagami's story. This isn't some modern phenomenon. He claims you can trace this so-called illuminated tradition all the way back through history. He starts with ancient Egyptian mystery schools, runs it through the Knights Templar and the Rosicrucians, and all the way up to the secret societies we see today.
This is where the supposed network gets even stranger. The book points out what it calls an ambiguous mix of people involved. You've got a former left-wing terrorist and an occultist on one side, supposedly moving in the same secret circles as a fundamentalist Catholic leader on the other. The author uses this to argue that the network operates above and beyond normal politics or religion. Okay, so if that's the who, then what about the how? I mean, how does this massive alleged network actually work? How does it control things? Well, the next part of the book dives into what it calls their occult playbook. So, a huge concept in this playbook is the Arcana Arcanorum. It literally means the secret of secrets. Zagami says this is like the PhD level of magical practice, the absolute top-tier system that came out of this ancient mystery school in Naples. He claims this is the real, practical knowledge the elites use to actually wield power. And then the book makes a pretty shocking connection. It ties these ancient magical systems to the CIA's infamous mind control program, MK-Ultra. Zagami doesn't see this as just some rogue government experiment. He frames it as a tool of the occult elite, a program that blended black psychiatry and even magic with science to wage psychological warfare. And to try and make this point stick, the book lists some of the alleged subprojects. I mean, the names alone are just wild. You've got a witch doctor study, something called Operation Often, which he says was about exploring black magic, and even studies on how to do rapid hypnosis. It paints a picture of a really far-reaching and, frankly, bizarre program. So how does a network like this grow? The book claims they use this 5-step infiltration plan.
First, high-level members form these invisible colleges, which are basically sleeper cells. Then, they pick a target, another secret society, and systematically infiltrate it until they take it over from the inside, all while using disinformation to hide what they're doing.
This quote from the book really gets to the heart of the whole moral framework, or maybe the lack of one. The claim is that once you get high enough up the ladder, ideas like good magic and evil magic just evaporate. There's only magic as a tool, a way to get power and influence events, totally separate from any sense of right or wrong.
Which, of course, brings us to the big question. What's the point of it all? With all this alleged power, all this influence, what's the ultimate goal? Well, according to the author, it's the full and total creation of a new world order.
And the main strategy to get there, according to the book, is this Latin phrase, Ordo ab chao. It means order out of chaos. The theory he puts forward is that the network intentionally creates or fuels chaos in the world so that it can then be the one to swoop in and provide the solution, imposing its own kind of order.
You see this number, 33, pop up a lot in these kinds of stories. In this one, it's directly tied to the 33rd and final degree of the Scottish Rite of Freemasonry. The book frames this as a really key rank within the Illuminati's power structure. It's like the pinnacle of initiation and control.
And to tie that big, abstract idea to the real world, the book points to places like the Bohemian Club, this super secretive retreat for some of the most powerful people on the planet. Its motto, which you can see on this plaque, is, "Weaving spiders come not here." The author's interpretation? It's a clear message. This is our space. No outside business, no interference. This is where we make our plans.
So, after laying out this entire massive alleged conspiracy, what's the solution? What does the author say we should do? Well, the last part of his confession is basically a call to arms, but a very specific kind. And there it is. That's his weapon of choice. It's not violence, it's information. Zagami's whole point is that the network's greatest strength is its secrecy. So, he argues the only way to fight it is to destroy that secrecy, to spread the hidden knowledge, and expose everything they do. So, if you boil this entire confession down to one core idea, it's this. There's an invisible war being fought all around us. And the main weapons in this war aren't guns or bombs. They're information, secrets, and who gets to control what we know.
You know, after deconstructing all these claims, from the ancient history to the modern methods, it really all seems to spin around this one single question, doesn't it? What is the true power of a secret?